In this video, I'll be reviewing the brand new Garmin Edge 850 cycling computer, and during this video, I'm going to explain why I think this could be the best Garmin computer for a lot of you out there, especially if you do drop bar type riding and mountain biking. Now, I recently reviewed the Edge MTB, which is a great little computer. But this is an interesting launch because the Edge 850 has a lot of the features that I really liked about the Edge MTB, specifically timing gates. So that allows you to go out on a course, set up timing gates, whether you're doing cross-country, gravel, downhill, enduro, you can set timing gates that will give you split times. I love it. Also, it has mountain bike profile. So like the Edge MTB, you have a downhill profile and an enduro profile. I won't go too far into those because I did that when I reviewed the Edge MTB. But what that means, like for downhill, is when you're on your shuttle or going up a lift, it stops recording. And then when you go downhill, it'll start recording again. You don't have to press the lap button. It just knows when you're going downhill. And for the enduro profile, it will record your ascending stats and descending stats separately. Now, you do have to press the lap button like you do on the Edge MTB, but it will record those stats separately. Also, it records in 5 Hertz GPS, like the Edge MTB, when you're going downhill using one of those mountain bike profiles, and that's going to give you much more accurate GPS recording, which is really important when you're going faster downhill. Now, what's unique about the Edge 850, like the 840, and it's the reason why this honestly is one of my favorite Garmin bike computers, is the fact that it uses not only touchscreen but buttons at the same time. So you have the option. Unlike the 1050, which is only touchscreen, or the Edge MTB, which is only buttons, you get to choose. And that's very useful because, like, for example, I was using the 1050, I got caught in the rain, and with my gloves on soaking wet, it was really hard to get the screen to register my finger and do swiping and press buttons. Had I had the button option like you have on the 850, I could have used the buttons instead. So I really like that. So why would you pick up the Edge MTB over the Edge 850 if you have buttons and touchscreen on this and you don't on the Edge MTB? Well, just real quick, I won't really go too much into this, but the main difference is the price. So this is $200 cheaper. It is smaller and lighter. So the Edge MTB is 58 grams. This is 113 grams. So there is a weight savings. Also, this has a more rugged design. It's made with Corning Gorilla Glass, and it has a rubber coating. Now, you can get a rubber protector for the Edge 850, which I will be doing, and I will be getting a screen protector for this. Now, what it will do in this video is I'm going to take it out of the box, show you what you get real quickly, and then I'm going to pick this video back up after I use this for a while and let you know what I think. So this is the first time that I've opened this. So let's see what you get in this box. I've got so many Garmin mounts that I'm not going to really be using these, but you do get these quarter turn mounts. This is my favorite for mountain biking. I sometimes will use an out front mount, but I like mounting it directly on the handlebars, and that way the device is just more protected. By the way, you of course can get the top tube mount that comes with the Edge MTB. It does not come with this one, but you can buy that separately from Garmin, and that's a very useful mount for a mountain bike. Again, you just mount it on your top tube. So you of course get the out front mount, and this is going to be really good for gravel riding, for road riding. You can also use it for mountain biking. I, again, prefer the ones that mount directly onto the handlebars, and these are just different adapters for different bar sizes. And then you get your USB-C charging cable with it. Now it's time to get out and ride with the Edge 850, and I'll let you know what I think. Before I do that, though, I want to mention one more difference between this and the Edge MTB, just in case you're trying to decide between the two, and that is you can connect an external battery because it's got the contacts for it, whereas the Edge MTB does not. So the 1050, the 850 has that, the Edge MTB, you cannot hook up an external battery. I want to mention one thing that you can do to help out my channel, and that is simply just to play this video all the way to the end. It does help out my channel, and it helps other people find this video. All right, let's go ride. It's been about a week of using the Edge 850. I've used it for gravel and mountain biking, and there's a lot to talk about with this computer, starting with the display. So this is now a liquid crystal display, different from the transflective display of the Edge MTB. And with it, you get more vibrant colors. So think of it as like an AMOLED display where the colors really pop. It's really clear. I've had no issues in bright sunlight. The downside is it's a little bit less battery life than the transflective display, but I'm willing to take that trade-off because I love the way this screen looks. It's a very similar comparison to the Forerunner 970 AMOLED that I'm testing compared to the Fenix 8 that I've been using. And this is my first AMOLED Garmin watch, and I really like it. I'm going to be releasing a review comparing the Fenix 8 and this one in the next few weeks, but I will say that I will take the trade-off. The Fenix 8 has killer battery life. This is not quite as good, but with the very vibrant AMOLED display, I'm willing to take that trade. And it's the same with the Edge 850 now. It's the same screen as the 1050. This is pretty much a smaller 1050, but with the option of using buttons. That's the best way to describe it. So let's talk about a few more things with the Edge 850. So going more into the battery life, Garmin claims 12 hours with demanding use, and I found that very spot on. Today I did about a 3-hour and 15-minute ride, and I used about 8% per hour. And I had two sensors paired. I had a heart rate monitor paired, and I had my rear derailleur, the wheel top rear derailleur, so I can monitor the battery. And again, about 8% per hour, so that's going to give you roughly 12 hours. They say you can get 36 hours if you use the battery saver mode, so that is an option. Real quick, I'll go over a few specs that are important. I won't go over all of them. You can look on the website and see that, but it does have 64 gigabytes of memory. And by the way, the 550, which just came out, has 32 gigabytes, so that is a difference. That's just going to allow you to load more maps onto this device. This does have a speaker like the 1050. That's going to give you like turn-by-turn directions. We'll say, you know, turn right or turn left versus a tone. You can choose either one. So if you use a tone, it's going to give like an ascending tone if you're making a right turn or a descending tone for a left turn. Very similar to an Apple Watch if you've ever used that for navigation. This one has a bell. It sounds corny, but it's a very useful feature like if you're on a bike path. Now, I don't use it for mountain biking because you've got to take your hands off the bar, but it's really loud. I'm going to do it anyway. So basically what you do is you touch the screen and then you tap bell. Oh, it's so loud. And this has a faster processor than the 840. It's the same processor that's in the 1050, and that means the device is just going to be more responsive. It's not quite like a cell phone, but it is more responsive than the 840. The 850 has an upgraded weather widget, which I found very useful. In fact, you can look at a radar, you can play it, you can see rain moving across. And by the way, this also now has Garmin Pay, just in case you want to use your device to pay for something. Having Garmin Pay on a bike computer is probably not quite as useful as having on the watch, but it's there just in case you need it. Now, I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this has timing gates. Now, one thing that I noticed is that timing gates is device specific. So for example, I set up some timing gates on my Edge MTB. They do not carry over to the Edge 850. I wish it did, but I've got to reset up my timing gates. That's probably one of the only things that don't carry over. The Garmin Connect app syncs everything together. All of my watches, all of my bike computers, everything just syncs together in the app. And I really like that. But timing gates is probably one of the only ones that doesn't sync between devices. Now, I'll just go on a little tangent here and say that I'm going to be using the Garmin Connect app more to put all of my data together and then looking at the history instead of using Strava. I'm kind of getting away from Strava. I just don't agree with Strava's business practices anymore. They've recently launched a lawsuit against Garmin. Last year, they made it much more difficult for third-party apps like Trailforks to work with Strava. I just don't like the direction they're taking. So I will be canceling my Strava Premium and using the Garmin Connect app. Little side note there. By the way, I'll put a link to DC Rainmaker's video on the lawsuit. It's very informative, very interesting, but I'll still be like probably syncing my rides with Strava, but Strava Premium, no more. The Edge 850 has fork sight like the Edge MTB, and that's very useful. Like you get to a trail intersection and you don't have to pull out your phone. If you're on a trail system where you don't quite know where to go, you don't have to have a Trailforks subscription, which is really cool. So That's going to be really handy for a lot of you out there. Now I'll take a couple of minutes and show you the device up close and show you some of the features of it. I'm going to run through basic functionality to give you an idea of how this works in case you're new to Garmin devices, and also show you how fast the new processor is. So I'm at the home screen. I have not started a ride yet. This is how you get to training. So if you want to create training workouts like on your phone or the desktop app, I create workouts all the time on my phone and then push them over to the device and follow them. It's really helpful. And then this is also how you get to your timing gates, segments, other things like that. I'm not going to go too far into these. Going to go back out to the home screen, going to go to navigation. This is how you get the courses that you created. Something else that I do all the time, I'll create a course using the desktop app and then push it over to the device. You can also do it on your phone. It's gotten a lot easier. It's very easy now to do it on your phone. This is how you get to your courses. You can also go to MTB trail navigation. What this is going to do is going to look at trails where you're at right now, and it's going to show them, and you can just tap on the trail, like the trail. I won't go too far into that again, but that's how you get to that, and that's also really cool. So let's go back out to the home screen, and this is how you get to your menu settings. You can also get to this while you're riding. I'm going to show you how easy it is to add a data screen to an activity profile. So this is HRM, that's an activity profile for my heart rate monitor. I'm going to tap on data screens, and then I'm going to go to add. And then you can go to data screen again and then select all your fields. It's got them categorized, or you can tap on popular. So let's select 3: distance, timer, and elapsed time. Let's do lap time. So got those fields created. And then I'm going to start a ride and I'm going to show you this screen. Back out at the home screen, I'm going to start a ride by tapping the bottom right button. And then this is the screen that I just created. I can swipe through my other screens. I'll show you how easy it is to swap or edit a field. So I'm going to hold down this field. If I tap on this one, it's going to swap them. And then if I want to edit a field, so let's say instead of timer I wanted something else, so I'm going to hold down on timer, tap it again, and then I can just select another field. So let's tap here and let's go to battery level. I'll show you how to get to the home screen. So all you have to do is tap here, go to home, and you're back out at this home screen. Go back out to the ride. This is also how you get to your bell. So tap on the screen, tap on bell. To get to your widgets, you just swipe down and then you swipe over here. This is how you get to some basic settings. So battery level, sounds, brightness. You can add sensors while you're riding. So you just tap on sensor, add sensor, and you can do that out from the home screen as well. And then you can get to the weather widget that I showed you earlier, talked about earlier. So this is it. Notifications. I do get notifications on my device while I'm riding, get like text messages. It's very convenient. See if I need to stop and answer a text message or a call. So yeah, that's how you get to your widgets. Swipe back up. So yeah, basic functionality of how these devices work. All right, to wrap up the video, who is this device for? I think this, like I said at the beginning of the video, is going to be one of the best Garmins for most of the riders out there. It's the Goldilocks size because the 1050 is too big for mountain biking, in my opinion. The Edge MTB is a little bit too small for cross-country type riding. Now, the Edge MTB I would recommend for enduro and downhill riders if that's your main focus. I think the smaller size is perfect for that type of riding. For everything else, I think the Edge 850 is great. Now, as far as the screen size, it's really going to depend on how many data fields you want to show. If all you need is 4, 5, or 6, this is a great size even for road and gravel. Now, if you do both, road and gravel, this is the one that I would recommend if you don't want to buy more than one Garmin bike computer. So that's going to wrap up my review of the Edge 850. Really like this computer. What Garmin device do you like? Do you like the 1000 series like the 1050, the 8, or the 5, the Edge MTB? Curious to know what your preference is and what type of riding you do. Let us know in the comments. Any other questions or comments that you have about this, drop those below, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.